Welcome, everyone.
Yes,
Welcome to this
welcome.
beautiful day honoring the birth and rise of the divine feminine.
As women, we are taking our rightful place, bringing love into action, to birth a world where violence and war no longer exist. In responsibility to our human evolution and devotion to the generations ahead of us and behind us, we establish sovereign peace beginning now.
We are standing in the power of divine mother's love. We are standing in the power of divine mother's love. We are standing in the power of divine mother's love. We are standing in the power of divine mother's love. Stand up strong each and every day. Use your voice, speak in a better way. How long must we live this way for a better day?
Women everywhere envision a flourishing planet where love's beauty, peace, and harmony abound. We cherish and treasure our Mother Earth in all her majesty. We cherish and treasure humanity and the truth of our divinity. Ancient and sovereign, imperishable and everlasting.
We are standing in the power of divine mother's love. We are standing in the power of divine mother's love. We are standing in the power of divine mother's love. We are standing in the power of divine mother's love. Stand up strong each and every day. Use your voice, speak in a better way. How long must we live this way for a brighter day?
Divine Mother's love, in all its magnificence, is compelling women to lead now. Our voices and actions burst forth in an ocean of great compassion, such that nothing can resist this unfettered and infinite love. We are here to guide. We are birthing the creation of our new civilization. Love in action, everywhere, all at once.
We are standing in the power of divine mother's love. We are standing in the power of divine mother's love. We are standing in the power of divine mother's love. We are standing in the power of divine mother's love. Stand up strong each and every day. Use your voice, speak in a better way. How long must we live this way for a better day?
Wow. That was glorious. Hallelujah. Glorious. Thank you so much, Antoinette, for your beautiful creation with Pookie Lee. I'm trying to see where's Pookie. Pookie's give a shout out. and is Joan on too? Oh, there's Pookie. All right. What a statement. What a fantastic truth. And we are claiming it today. We are claiming our
feminine.
right, our sovereign right to be divine feminine emanations in all of our messiness, in all of our foibles, in all of our wonderful and illustrious ways. For it is time, and we are here, and we are equal. And because we are equal, it is time for us to join together in oneness with the divine masculine, in partnership, so that we may create what we are looking for so deeply, peace within ourselves and peace on earth. And so I am joined today with some amazing people, and I want to bring up my co-host, Anasuya.
Hello, welcome everyone to this beautiful celebration of the birth and the rise of the divine feminine on this sacred day, on the eve of Brigid, the goddess, the divine mother, before the Christians took her, the Holy One. And we'll hear more about that today as we celebrate at the beginning of the year. We're honoring the divine feminine because we know we closed the year ending the divine masculine. So let's start off the year with the divine feminine. Yahoo!
And who's going to do it but us, right? It is for us to do.
It is for the women.
The women, we need to rise
matters.
Up. We need to say the time is now. We are equal in partnership with you, the masculine. And
what?
We are claiming our sovereign self, our divine self. And you know, whatever I do in my sacred things, the way was open for me as a priestess through the Dark Mother, through the Black Madonna. So I always ask one of my African American sisters who honors and works with the Black Madonna to come on and do an honoring of the original deep, dark earth mother that birthed us all and keeps and sustains us. So Anasuya, I'm going to let you take it away, my dear, and share your truth about why we are here.
Okay, well, first and foremost, and I'm inviting us all to just get really comfortable in our seats. Really ground your hips into whatever you're sitting on, whether it's a chair, a cushion, the floor, or bed, or whatever it does. Sit in a way that has your back straight, and so the oxygen can flow easily in and out through your diaphragm, and you're supported with life force, because the first form of the divine feminine is breath. That's the Holy Spirit. So let's just make room for her to fill our bodies. Let's make room for our conscious awareness of her inflow and outflow. That is the first way to honor the mother. And as we squickle down, let me just even adjust me even straighter. And also, I'd like us to be present in a certain way, to not passively listen and to be entertained or enthralled or to hear what we already know or to learn something new. I'm inviting us to be here as ambassadors of the mother, not only her children, but her ambassadors. So listen for everything I'm hearing today. What action is it inviting me to take on her behalf? What action am I being invited to be, do, and have so that her presence is known in me and through me? How is what I'm learning today, each message that these sisters are bringing, how is that feeding my relationship with Mother so that I have more intimacy with her? So let's listen in this way, actively, pulling it towards us, pulling her towards us, because that's what she needs. That's what she wants. It's us to say, Mother, I know you exist. Thank you. Reveal yourself to me. Expand my consciousness, expand my territory, expand the ways that live and breathe you. So, on that note, we'll take a connected breath together. Mother, Father, God, we just thank you so much for this day, that we have chosen to honor the divine feminine, you, Mother, in all of your glorious light. We just thank you. We thank you for the breath that you are as the Shekinah glory, as the inhalation, as the Holy Spirit, of which if we don't have that, our body is inanimate. We thank you for the very gift of waking up this morning, waking up in our right mind, waking up able to move in ways that we take for granted. Thank you. Thank you for blessing this gathering of all these beautiful souls, reflections of you, here to stitch the tikkun back together of our oneness. Thank you for each of the souls that have said yes to hearing this call, to be here today, here and now, and also those who join in on the recording. We welcome you all. Thank you for your yes. Thank you for your willingness to not only celebrate the divine feminine, or discover if it's new to you, but also to be her reflections, be her in the earth, be her message of warmth and compassion and sanity and love of that which may be called the other. Let us demonstrate what this earth can be like when we are in oneness and practicing being in difficult conversations, being with people who push our buttons, being with people who want to censor us. Show us how to be your grace in these challenging times of hate and animosity and warmongering. Show us how to be your grace here now. Thank you. These things we pray in the name of all that is good, noble, and pure. Hallelujah, amen, and our woman, Ashe. So yes, I'm here to bring forth not only the divine feminine, but the divine feminine as the Black Madonna, the pre-religion. So not just pre-Christian, but pre-every religion, that first mother who is the earth, who is the cosmos, who is the dark, fertile blackness that begat all colors, that begat all forms of light, including the what we can't see light, that is dark matter. I am invoking here that spirit of the first creator from which we all sprung, from which all the multiverses sprung, from which all sentient and insentient beings sprung, from all the cells, that fertile womb that gave us not the Big Bang, but the big birth. And out of her broken water breaking, we all flowed out. We're here to honor that first mother. Dark as the night from which all creation stirs and grows and gathers strength. We honor her today, our first mother. Welcome.
Thank you so much for your beautiful message of love and compassion for all of our. This is Guadalupe, but we bring in all the mothers.
All of the mothers, we call you in.
She's all over the world. She's in every culture.
All of the mothers, we call you in.
And she is here now with us.
All of the mothers, we call you in.
And we are
Yes.
so grateful for the power of her love and her nurturing energy. And so I loved your message of what is ours to do. What is she inspiring in us? Each of us is taking action.
Yes.
And so we need to listen through the course of this whole event as to what you might be sparked to do. For your part is the missing piece of the puzzle. and it's
Yeah.
so pertinent for heaven on earth. And I mean, it's not supposed to be heaven in the heavens, it's supposed to be heaven on earth. And it's only when the women gather in their hearts, in their love, in their inclusivity, in their diversity, in their magnificence, and their gifts and their talents and expressions, unbelievable expressions you're going to see and bear witness to, all these wonderful divine expressions that uplift everybody and open their hearts so that love can be present and felt as a field that creates safety, that creates sustenance, that
Absolutely.
creates life. So thank you so much, my dear, for being co-host with me. And I'm going to invite our next guest to come on, remove you. And I'm going to invite my dear beloved friend, Karen LaPuma.
Hello.
I always have Karen come on. She has written so many goddess books, and she's a passionate goddess warrior. And her lifetime body of work around the goddess, and her new book on the tarot cards. And so she's deep in the material. But I always want to check in, like, why did we want this day? Why did we want this time? And when we did a little astrology reading, which the chart is in the announcement that went out, one of the things you said to me, Karen, was, wow, the chart is saying women need to raise their voices. Like, how appropriate is that? How spot on is that? So would you like to highlight a couple more little things that you found about why the energy of this day and this time is so extraordinary?
True. Thank you. I would say that today the energy is communication and assertion. And this is so important that we see ourselves differently, that we heal the past. We need to look at our own way of not stepping into the goddess. How does the conditioning keep us back? And so that is the biggest issue. And then to really see yourself brand new. I'm even wanting to change my name at the late 70s and be called Karina, because I am stepping in to a whole new identity. And this is really important that we all do. What keeps us holding us back? And astrologically, this is a time of really connecting with others, and group endeavor is so important. And it's also important that we own our individuality, own our autonomy, own our sense of believing in yourself and what you have to express.
Yeah, I just want to insert something here, because this point needs to be illustrated a little bit deeper, because it is in the gathering. We women are 51% of the population, and being 51% of the population, we should have a larger voice, a bigger presence. And it's in the gathering when we come in a unified, heart-centered way, letting go of this and that and those and them, and just being here as sovereign women. So this point that you just made, what the astrology is reading about this day, is spot on.
It's really important. It's really important, the group, because we're moving into the Aquarian age, and the Aquarian is the group endeavor and the people. But so just simply, the most important thing is to speak your voice. Know what you want, what holds you back. Watch yourself. What's keeping you from really living and speaking? I loved what you said.
Really.
Anasuya, it was so beautiful to
Hallelujah, Anasuya is
to how can I be an embodiment of you? How can I express the goddess in me? That's what really is so important. And whatever's in the way to come out and let it go. Look at mine is distraction. I read the news or moving, and I'm dialoguing with that part of me. What is it, the part of you that keeps you from truly the embodiment of your divine nature? That's so important. And we have a beautiful Venus Jupiter. So the community of women, the community and the resources we have books, we have each other to come together. And we have to change. It's like we have a big Uranus on the descendant, which is how we express ourselves through other. Be brand new. Change your identity in some way. Really live. How do you want to be? Focus on what you want to become, not what you want to overcome. Love and allow are the two main principles of the hero's journey. And that's really, if we could just keep it simple, those two things. Don't talk about what isn't working. Don't, complain and report all the things that it keeps you in that backness. What do you want? That's what you focus on.
Yeah.
So we have, and there's a need to be social and connect. Again, another thing that I'm looking at, totally different. And we're healing our individuality, the sense of who we are. How can I be brand new? How can I be this instrument of the divine?
Yeah, this is so important what you just said, because, my mother broke glass ceilings that were like so hard to break back in the 50s. She was the first woman to be a principal of an elementary school. Only men were allowed to do that. And she cracked that ceiling. But, she didn't do a stitch of inner work, and we're the generation that's really diving in and going within and healing and doing the healing work that's so needed. And we have lots of amazing healers on the show. So anyway, this is so fabulous. Karen, do you have one last point that you'd like to bring up that we can?
Okay, just look down, and what I saw was, we have a Leo midheaven, and that's like strut, be your self-expression. Be the dynamic one. How can you put it out there? How can you express yourselves? How can you shine your light? That's what Leo does. How can you give court?
And you're
This is
doing a
our Leo.
fabulous job. Thank you so much, my dear. I really
Yes.
appreciate it. Blessings.
Thank you for having me.
All right. So now, Anasuya, hallelujah, Anasuya, we're going to launch into a deeper dive, because she had questions for me about, why this day and who's Brigid and all this sort of stuff. So I wanted to invite Kathleen, our priestess sister. She's another dear heretic friend.
Welcome, Kathleen, to the party.
Hello, thank you
Hey.
so much.
Yeah. This is the 14th year that I am doing as an annual event, celebration of the birth and the rise of the divine feminine. And why am I doing this? Because I noticed that in December we celebrate the divine masculine. And Jesus was so phenomenal. His genius was, because having studied the Gospel of Mary Magdalene, we know that the disciples were not happy about Magdalene being brought into the inner circle. And even in the Gospels, these what are now known as heretic Gospels, but they have contain way greater truth about what was really going on behind the scenes. Peter says, why do we have this woman? You expect me to change my customs? Yes, Peter, we expect you to change your customs. And there's a huge council of nuns, 90,000 nuns. These are the nuns who are the heads of hospitals, the principals of schools, superintendents of education for the Catholic organization worldwide, doing the deep work of service to humanity. They met and they sent a letter to the Pope. They want women on the council. And so, you know, but have we seen women show up on the council yet? No. But you took it upon yourself to now become the priestess, which is, you know, women call them who become ministers call themselves priests. No, they're priestesses. Right? They're not priests, they're priestesses, but you took it upon yourself to claim your sovereignty. So I'd love to have you tell the story of Brigid and the Eternal Flame and give us some of the insights on that and then share your song with us. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Christy. I just really am grateful to be here, honored to be here at this beautiful celebration of the rising and the return of the divine feminine. And yeah, I'd love to just share a little bit about myself, my own journey, and then a little bit about Brigid, because we are here on her holiday today. So as Christy said, my name is Kathleen Joan. I'm a priestess of Brigid. Brigid is both an ancient Celtic goddess, pre-Christian goddess, and a Christian saint. And I'll say more about that in a second. But as a priestess of Brigid, my mission is to help people from Christian backgrounds, particularly, to reclaim a sense of our sacred worth by relating to the goddess. So God as she, divine feminine, and to put that in a healing dialogue with your Christian history, however you are relating to that, right? Because I think we need a lot of that too. We can't just, many of us feel like we're not just going to walk away from all of our ancestry and our heritage in that way. So a little bit of background about me. I am trained as a theologian and minister from the Catholic Christian tradition, as Christy was mentioning. I hold a dual master's degree in theology and ministry. And for almost a decade, I worked at a Catholic high school. So I taught religion and I ran retreats for kiddos. And so as I like to tell people, I am a former Catholic school teacher who found the goddess. And when I found her, I found myself. So the key realization for me was that if God can be she, then God can truly live in me as someone who identifies as a she, right? Yeah. So this idea of reclaiming our deep sacredness by relating to the divine feminine and keeping that flame burning bright in the world in whatever ways we are called to do that. I love that we've been emphasizing in this gathering so far, the action that we're called to take, right? The ways that we are called to bring justice to the world as the flame of the divine feminine. So yeah, I mean, I really believe that her rising is the healing and the rebalancing that our world needs today. I think that the return of the divine feminine is the thing that will heal and rebalance our world. I'm sure that many of us here agree with that, seeing some yeses coming in the chat. Thanks, Lulu. Thanks, Anasuya. So I'd love to talk a little bit about Brigid, because again, we're here on her holiday. So for those who are not familiar, February 1st and 2nd is typically celebrated as Imbolc. Imbolc is the midpoint between the winter solstice and the spring equinox. And so the ancient Celtic people believed that on Imbolc, it's like the moment when we first start to look around and see some signs of spring, right? Like we're not in the depths of winter anymore. We're not at the spring, full spring either, right? But Imbolc is that time when we look around and we think, oh gosh, maybe winter doesn't last forever, right? There are little glimmers of spring coming out in the world. And the ancient Celtic people that believed that that is because Brigid, who is the goddess of the sun, the goddess of fire, this is the time when she would travel through the world and wake up the world from winter and bring back the warmth, bring back the sun, bring back the light of spring, right? So that was her role, the role of the goddess Brigid. Christians today celebrate this as Saint Brigid's Day. And today we're actually here on Saint Brigid's Eve. And because there was a saint in Ireland who kind of took on and embodied the qualities of the goddess Brigid when Ireland became Christian. So I'd love to tell us a little bit more about. So these are just a couple of artistic representations of Brigid. Again, she is the Celtic goddess of the sun and of fire. And Imbolc is her holiday. She's waking up the world from winter. We're halfway between the winter solstice and the spring equinox. She's also the goddess of a lot of other things like poetry, music, healing, any kind of fire. So anywhere we would find a flame, like a hearth where you're cooking in the kitchen, that would be Brigid's fire, or a blacksmith's forge, like where someone is using fire to shape metal, right, and create something. Like a candle, any instance of fire is Brigid, right? Her energy is one of transformation and awakening. Okay, transformation and awakening. So it's this returning light, this rekindling of the flame. And it's a moment of hope. And that's why I like to say, I believe that we're actually at an Imbolc moment in human history. And I love that we've chosen Imbolc as this celebration of the reawakening of the divine feminine, right? We could say that it's been a very long winter of patriarchy
Yes.
in the civilization of Earth, right? It's been a very long winter, but we're at a moment where we see the signs of the divine feminine returning. She's coming back, right? This winter doesn't have to last forever. So this is a great time for Brigid to be bringing that energy. I'll also mention that the ancient priestesses of Brigid, the Druid priestesses, used to tend a perpetual flame in her honor. So there was a flame that was always burning, tended by a rotation of 19 priestesses. And on the 20th day, Brigid herself would tend the flame. And I mention that flame because when Ireland became Christian, that flame was carried on right into the Christian tradition. So Ireland became Christian around the 5th century. The people did not want to get rid of Brigid. They kept her, but they just transferred all of her qualities and all of her stories onto an actual historical person who was called Saint Brigid. So there was a person who lived in Kildare, Ireland, who founded a Catholic religious order. It was actually a men's and women's religious order, which was unusual. And she was the abbess of all of it. And they kept the flame of Brigid alive. In that Catholic convent, her nuns, the Catholic nuns, tended the flame of the goddess Brigid and kept that flame burning for hundreds of years. And this is actually a statue of Brigid at in Kildare, Ireland, and you can see she's holding up the torch, right? She's holding up the flame. That flame burned until like at least the 1600s. It was probably put out at some point, but it was relit. There are still Brigidian sisters today, and they have a spirituality center that you can go see in Kildare, Ireland. And they relit the flame of Brigid in the 1990s. So you can go see this flame today. So what I love to take away from this story is that no matter where we are, no matter what systems, no matter how patriarchal are around us, right, we can keep the flame of the goddess alive. There's always a way to do that. Her flame burns even within a Catholic convent. Her flame burns within our hearts. Her flame burns within our communities, right, wherever we are. So there's nothing that's impossible around this with the divine feminine energy. I just like to mention that around too, because if you see this picture on the left, Saint Brigid is often depicted with a bishop's staff. So she was actually regarded as the bishop of her local Catholic diocese in her time. So again, nothing's impossible, right? Even within some very patriarchal structures. So yeah, I'm seeing all these wonderful chats. Thank you about everyone's experiences with Brigid. Yeah, this is beautiful. So I'll invite us to just like a brief minute of reflection, and then I want to have us sing a little song to Brigid. But these are 4 ways that Brigid is, again, she's a fire goddess, right? But these are 4 ways that she is typically depicted with this flame, 4 flames of Brigid. She's the hearth goddess, meaning the hearth is like your cooking fire, right? So where you come to gather in community and nourish and be nourished, right? That would be the hearth flame. The forge fire, where we use our creativity. If you look at the picture here, she's like a blacksmith. She's shaping things with fire, right? And our work. The temple flame, which is the flame of devotion, our spiritual connection, and healing. Brigid is also a healer, right? So I want to just invite us to think, and if you could maybe write down for yourself, which of these flames do you feel called to deepen into this year, right? Where would you like to relight your divine feminine flame? Hearth, which is community, right? The forge, which is your creativity, your work in the world. The temple, which is your spiritual connection, your devotion. Or do you want to give and receive healing? Do you need to receive that healing for yourself, right? So that you can share it with the world. Please just let us know in the chat which of these is calling to you. Christy says the temple, thank you. Lulu says the forge. Hearth and healing, thank you. The temple, the hearth and the forge. Carol says hearth. Michi says the forge. Karina says temple healing. Yeah, so Brigid invites us in all of these ways, right? Any of these ways of awakening her flame is going to call Brigid's energy into your life. So with that, thank you. I would love to just invite us to sing a little song together. This is actually a chant that I had the honor to record with Spiral Muse. I'm part of a Divine Feminine group called Spiral Muse. The song is called Brigid Be My Flame, and I'll put that. So it's a simple chant, it's repetitive. You'll catch on. I'm going to play the recording, and if you're welcome to go ahead and sing with us. So with this song, we're calling in Brigid's energy for our year in 2024.
Brigid be my flame, Brigid be my guide.
Please sing with us along on mute.
With me today at my side. Brigid at the hearth, Brigid at the door. Brigid surround me behind and before. Brigid be my flame, Brigid be my guide. Brigid walk with me today at my side. Brigid at the hearth, Brigid at the door. Brigid surround me behind and before. Brigid be my flame, Brigid be my guide. Brigid walk with me today at my side. Brigid at the hearth, Brigid at the door. Brigid surround me behind and before. Brigid be my flame, Brigid be my guide. Brigid walk with me today at my side. Brigid at the hearth, Brigid at the door. Brigid surround me behind and before. Brigid be my flame, Brigid be my guide. Brigid walk with me today at my side. Brigid at the hearth, Brigid at the door. Brigid surround me behind and before. Brigid be my flame, Brigid be my guide. Brigid walk with me today at my side. Brigid at the hearth, Brigid at the door. Brigid surround me behind and before.
Wow. Very sweet.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you
Brigid's
so
blessings
much.
for Imbolc.
Brigid,
Thank you so much for bringing that beautiful story.
yes, thank you. So, you know, that's what the Divine Feminine does. She has these great stories and storytelling and beautiful song and music that moves the heart. But your message about the patriarchy, it's not I mean, the men have miscreated, yes, but they haven't had the mothers who are healed to raise them. And this is the work that all of us are doing and trying to do. I have grandchildren where I'm trying to infuse that healing love, and my daughter is as well, so that when my grandson grows up, he will be honoring the sacred and the divine feminine. So, Brigid, thank you for your work. I think your work is fabulous. And I love who you are and what you're doing. And I met her through FemTalks. Jessica Hardy, I give you a shout out. This is a woman who's really doing the right work of bringing women together and getting us to power partner with each other.
Absolutely.
So when I asked Kathleen if she would help me with power partnering, she was like, yes, right there. And even though she's got her own retreat in a couple hours, so she's got to jump off at some point. But anyway, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Blessings. So Anasuya, we get to go into a wonderful section with we're going to bring on our other beloved sisters that you're going to introduce.
Yes, I am.
Fabulous
Bottom up.
And then we're going to show this fabulous movie, a message that came from Mother Earth to the Koji tribe. I don't know if any of you have seen it. It's we'll put it in the chat where it's online. And So I'm just trying to find Joan.
Oh, we're
And
also going to be showing it now.
well, they're going to give their indigenous wisdom because these women are deeply rooted and deeply passionate about Mother Earth and working with Mother Earth. And so,
Okay.
oh, there she is.
Okay.
There we go.
All right. So take it away, Anasuya.
Well, welcome, my beautiful sisters. How y'all doing? I'm so glad to see you all. So let me just get straight to the introductions because I want everyone to know who is before them. So first we have Antoinette, the Rootsdawtah Hall here, who is our beautiful, amazing spotlight, like our featured woman today. So she's the one who created the first video we saw that welcomed us in, the Divine Mother Love. And she is, what isn't she? She's a keyboardist. She's a distinguished keyboardist, okay, in the reggae industry. Earned the title of Goodwill Ambassador of the Golden Rule from the United Religious Initiative in Africa in 2019, alongside reggae musician Pato Banton. In addition to her musical endeavors, Antoinette launched the nonprofit organization Stand Up for Justice here in California in 2020. She has initiated Identia Wellness and is actively contributing to the Ubuntu International Film Movement. Her transformative message emphasizes love, understanding, diversity, and serving others to awaken the divine in us. Welcome, Antoinette Rootsdawtah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And next we have our Elisi, which is an indigenous word that I can't pronounce, but it means grandmother. So she is an elder, a sacred elder in the nation that she's representing. And she represents several of them. So let me just break it down for you. So Elisi Joan Henry is the director of the Four World Circles and monthly global 22 Prayers of Women of Mother Earth. She's a traditional song carrier, indigenous composer, performer, artist, educator, counselor, and water protector. Water protector. That means she's going up against the people who have guns who want them to stop. So she's a badass. She's been a Choo Joan has been the privilege to be a carrier of songs for elders among the Inde, Apache, Coast Salish, Shoshone, Paut, Hopi, Chippewa, Cree, Dakota, and other nations, that these songs might be kept alive and heard when needed. And I would imagine we need these healing songs from the ancestors more than ever now. Welcome, Elisi Joan. Pookie Lee, aloha. Our beautiful indigenous sister from the occupied land of Hawaii. She's honored to be a vision keeper for Unity Earth. Pookie's mission is to activate love and healing all over the world. She believes that aloha is the answer we're seeking. She was taught the sacred art of hula since the tender age of 2. Pookie is a third generation hula teacher, dancer. She is now working closely with her mother and sister to bring the sacred divine living art of the hula forward to be shared with our global ohana. Welcome, Pookie. And we have Mare Cromwell, founder and director of the Great Mother Love Way, the nonprofit. She is a Gaia mystic and a high priestess, plus the visionary behind the 1,000 Goddesses Gathering Global Grid. Ooh. She's also a worm herder. So thank you so much, all of you wonderful women. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Welcome for being here. And let's get started, shall we? Let's talk about this movement coming called the Koji message. And just as an introduction while we're waiting for Christy to bring it up, as this film is from the Koji tribe, and they received a message, not just for their nation, but for the world. And somebody had the good sense to film it. And so we're being blessed to hear this recent message from this nation that is on a mission to save us from us.
You guys have seen this movie, so anyone wants to say any more to introduce it. I know, Mary, you watched it and you got a direct message from the mother.
And I also want to say, I think it's pronounced Kogi, if you don't mind me sharing that. And if people don't know who they are a tribe that sequestered themselves from the conquistadors, from the colonists, way up high in the mountains in Colombia. So they live at like 15,000 feet.
I am the mother. I am in the heart of the universe. Throughout all of time, I have never suffered from such heat or exhaustion. I have endured for the last 1,000 years. Since that time, my natural connection points, my rivers, reservoirs, and internal waterways across all continents have been obstructed and are full of pollution. I cannot cleanse or recuperate. In December of 2023, I will start to rise and move and turn, sending this message out to all my children around the world. The storms, the earthquakes, the hurricanes, and the rise of the ocean will come. If the governments, the sultans, the princes, presidents, and kings of the world do not listen and act, in 2 years' time, only 30% of the earth will remain. I am the mother. I have always endured despite arrows being put in my eyes and in my body. I am not seeking to defend myself. I remain calm. But now, I must recuperate. There are two ways for me to heal. The first, I could take the law of nature into my own hands. This way, I will go in search of my medicine so I can cure my body, heal my energies, and all that I'm suffering from. There will be great changes upon the earth. You will feel me recovering. You will feel me moving. I will not do this to cause harm to you. It will mean I am recuperating my body. Or the second way. All my children will make the healing happen for me, so I will not need to do it myself. I will put my older children in charge of my recovery. They will go and search for my medicines, for my cure, so I can be healed and recuperate with their help. You, my children, must all be united and deliver what is needed for your older brothers so they can do the healing where I have been injured by you, my younger ones. Each one of the rulers of the world, of the governments of the world, must say, yes, mother, I will stand with you. I will give my help to where you have been injured. I, your mother, have given you everything. When these changes start to happen, we will see whether you listen and act, or whether I myself will have to do what I must to recover the balance on Earth. If in just 6 months from now, by June 2024, you say, yes, we will provide what is needed, then my oldest children will be able to help cure my body. If this message is ignored, I will take the law of nature into my own hands, 1.5 years from that date. This is the message that the Mother has given, she who is in the heart of the world.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So, dear sisters of this panel, we're speaking in response to the message that we have received from the Kogi. So from our traditions, from our path, what actions have you been led to take and invite others to take in response to the mother's call?
I'll go ahead.
Okay,
If
thank you.
First of all, honoring my sisters here on this panel. My path has been studying with Native American teachers and having Mother Gaia, her energy and conscious being brought into my energy body. So as a mystic to Mother, I can only do this because several Indigenous elders have confirmed my rapport with her. Having said that, what this message doesn't come forward that I hear from Mother all the time is how much Mother loves us and she's calling us home.
Mhm.
There's a huge beyond words like love that our mother, our foremost mother, Mother Gaia, Earth Mother, has for us in calling us home. And as far as where I am in watching this, it really kind of spun me for the day on Sunday when I watched it that morning, because this woman emailed me and said, what are you going to do? You know, the Thousand Goddess Gathering, there must be something. And so I reached out to Jyoti Ma, who is the woman really behind this, with the Wisdom Keepers, the Center for Sacred Studies, the Fountain. And she's in India right now. She and I are going to be talking next week. And there is something gestating with the Thousand Goddesses Gathering and the potential for reconnecting with the sacredness of Mother and Mother's heart within a global grid of ceremonies, really focusing and linking in with the trees. Perhaps there's a matriarch tree grid around the planet of highly intelligent sentient tree beings, the mycelium. And so there's a plan that's gestating, and I'll just leave it at that. I want to pass this over to one of my sister friends here.
Okay, so you're saying the action that you're being led, that you're inviting us to take is to, what are you saying?
What I'm saying is that things are gestating. I cannot give you a specific action right now because I'm tuning into Mother. Things are coming in. I'll be talking with Jyoti Ma next week. But there is definitely a call here for a much greater awakening around with the human population, the Western world, the younger brothers, the elder brothers, the Kogi are waiting for us to wake up and support them.
Thank you. Elisi, Joan?
I just want to make sure we clarify a couple of things so that in this highly feminine focused gathering, that there's no bounce back around the fact that they refer to themselves as the elder brothers. That just happened. Remember that our languages don't work like that and that it's loose. It also, in fact, the Kogi, there are nations besides the Kogi that are in there, and needless to say, there are no Kogi mamas or men without the Kogi sagas, who are the women. And they are also raised from birth for this process. They're raised from birth to be and isolated for long periods of time from birth in order to be able to hear clearly. And the truth is that every indigenous nation has that has not lost its contact with our Mother Earth,
Mm.
even though we may have been moved around. Our family joke is they took woodlands people and threw them on the dry plains of Oklahoma, and they took desert people and threw them in the swamps of Florida, and we're still here. And that, I mean, that's our family joke. Eh? Even though we get moved from a place, you're not separate from the mother. And even more so as a woman, genetically by the fact of being a life giver. So I think that where the actions begin, if you will, is the actions begin much more locally. They begin much more locally because that's how they get to be global. Global doesn't happen without local. They begin really locally, and they begin so locally that they begin with the self and the way in which you take care of the self, the way in which you spend the time to reconnect yourself with our Mother Earth, because that's what we're raised to do. That's what the Indigenous women on this panel, that's what we have in common. Our practices may be wildly different, and they may not be very different, but what we have in common is that connection to Mother Earth. It is given to us from birth because no other two-legged form, there's only two. There's 2.5, really, if you consider the two spirits who have one body or another. And I mean, my people say there are 4 genders, so that's a whole other subject. But it is the women who have that facility, whether you have children or not, you are a life giver. Yes. You contain that doorway between the spirit world and this world, where life can come through and incarnate as a physical body, because the spirit needs that. The spirit needs that to live. That's why, otherwise we wouldn't incarnate. We'd be light, we'd be doing something else. The spirit needs a physical body to do the work in the physical world that our Mother Earth needs in her body in order to do the transition. Our people refer to that, Chalgi people and Dende people both refer to that as, talk about her like she's in her puberty. And you remember how crazy that was, right? Anybody want to think back? Right? It's just what it is. But that process of everything exploding at once, men and women alike, that process of everything exploding at once in your body, changing shape, changing levels, changing hormones, changing perspectives, and the feeling of having no control over anything, that is what our Mother Earth is in the middle of, only she's a little more advanced at leveling the potentiality for control, because she knows that control is an illusion, that it's about a flow with the universe, right? She knows. She's smarter than that. Two-leggeds could listen more to her. So my encouragement really begins in the stages that start with how you are taking care of yourself and your family. Are you feeding yourself properly? Are you taking time for yourself to center so that that's the model you set for your children and grandchildren and neighbors and everybody else? Are you listening to the nature beings around you? Because we're all integrally connected, integrally interwoven. People go, oh, you're going to partner with trees? I'm like, doll, are you breathing? I'm just checking. Because if you're breathing, you're partnering with trees. I'm just checking. Ask a scientist. It's too good for me to make up. We really have to be thinking about the way in which, of ourselves out of, the Western conceit of separation from all that lives, and the idea that there are things that don't live. Everything's alive. Make no mistake about that. That conceit is wearing itself out, and that's why people are so shocked and surprised, or not, and in many cases relieved, when things happen that they don't have the power to explain, and they do what was once, they shatter their picture of the world, and suddenly there's a sense of what is greater. And that's kind of the reason, probably, that the knowledge that Indigenous people haven't, despite everything, have not lost our connection with Mother Earth, and have found ways to transmit and hang on to and practice our traditions, even when we're removed far away from where our belly button is tied. People are feeling that, and we're feeling for, they're feeling for where that is for them. And that's why things like what was done, the celebration of Brigid was really important because I have a lot of Celtic and Druidic friends who remind us all the time of how close they are to their tradition and how deeply connected they are to the earth around them. And we compare notes like I do with my Maori friends. We all have that. Even if you live as far away from nature in your mind, in the heart of New York City or LA, if you feel as far away from nature as a hawk from the root, take a ride to the ocean. Look around, look around. Ask for help from the things that surround you, because we're getting it all the time.
Thank you so
That's where we
much. Thank you so much. That's rich stuff right there. Rich, good. Okay.
That's right. Drop it like it's hot. Keep it moving. We got more. We got more. Go
All
ahead.
right, Pookie, let's go. Let's go. We do have a schedule, so let's go.
Yeah. Well, I think that I love the message from the Kogi concerning our mother, and to give our mother a voice in such a beautiful way. I think it's so important to come back into relationship with Mother Earth, and I think that we have really detached ourselves, or many people in the world have detached themselves from being embraced and having a deep relationship with Mother Earth. And I think that that's really what's being called forth right now, is for our connection to come back. We're being called back home by the Mother. And I think that this message is a message of the Mother calling us back into sacred communion with her again.
Absolutely.
And I think that it's so important that this message be taken seriously. I think that there might be a tendency to kind of wash over this as being something kind of like a soft invitation, and I think that this is much more than that. I think that this is a warning, a declaration, that a drawing of the line in the sand, as far as she is being very clear with us what needs to be done. There's nothing to question in how it was presented and what it is. And then it's for each one of us to ask ourselves, what is our role? How is it that we show up in service? Because there's a whole world outside of this conversation right here that has no idea about the message from the Mother. And that's really this awakening is happening. And I think that it's so important that we find ways to reach out far beyond the circles that we're so comfortable in, and that are so familiar to us, and begin to speak this into a world that is in need of hearing this message, so that they might have an awakened thought and return to the Mother and return to the ways of the earth, the ways of deep compassion and communion with the Mother and with all of life. It was just like Joan was saying, that it's all of life. It's everything is living. And we have, when I look around, when I get outside of my bubble sometimes, and I'm out in the world, and I'm seeing how the world is so distracted by so much of what's now and what's new and all of this, and that's exactly what it is. It's a distraction, and we're losing our way. We're losing our way. I often think about people's ability to find a location in their city without using GPS. Can they do that? Can you find your way somewhere without having to use? These are the things that we're losing to technology. And these are the things we have to be able to tell what the direction of the sun is and how we're moving on the earth. We've lost all of this, and it's so important for us now. And I think that this message is a message for us, the ones that know and understand this. It's for us to bring it out in a much bigger way into the world, so that everyone can be restored in their relationship with the Divine Mother. The Divine Mother, the Mother that loves each one of us in our current state of being. She loves us. She is, and so I think that it's I think that this message needs to continue to go out. I think that like it just needs to like a massive fire, like a flash fire across the world, because it's so important. Look, we're given 18 months. That's not a long time.
So,
What can we do? What can we
a
do?
lot.
What can I do? What can you do?
That's the question. That is the
Right?
question. Thank you so
A
much,
lot. There's a lot we can do. A lot.
Passion Pookie. Thank you, Passion Pookie.
I'm gonna have to add that to Passion Pookie. He's so passionate. I'm telling you, this is the reason why I got Joan, Sister Elisi, Joan, and Passion Pookie, and the other sister, because like I said, we have so many in Divine Mother's Love. Our tree girl, you know, Daniela, our tree listening.
Danalia, yes.
We have our tree representative. Trust me, we are representing. She is the tree listener, you know, the ultimate. But anyway, back
So
to the
you want to say your part, darling? What
Yes,
are
I'm
you
getting to my
hearing?
part. My
What are
part.
you hearing as the action to take? And you have so many actions. So
Girl,
you can share as many as you'd like.
real quick, exactly what they're saying. Number one, so in that film that I noticed, you notice those circles right there in the end. I was like, where did I see those circles before? I was just watching that thing from the Mandela Foundation, which we're going to get into in the Ubuntu, but he had those same circles. And what was he sitting there talking about his development program? He was sitting there talking about when you start farming in your own backyards, because there's a huge problem about land going on in Africa right now. Huge. So what can we do now while we're sitting there working out this land debacle? You can start planting in your own backyard. So before we even start going down to Colombia and over here and over there and all these other places, just like Joan said, what are we doing in our own backyard? What are you doing in your own yard? In your own yard, we could be creating environmental change in your own yard by planting a garden in your own yard. In your own backyard little space, you can start creating that energy already. I didn't even realize. I was like, the environment, you see this land, Edentia, you see behind me, it says Edentia. Edentia coming from the stars is also Edentia, what we're trying to do here. The mother spirit coming from the stars is also the mother spirit here on this planet, on planet Earth. She is the mother. And the things that she was sitting there, and that's why I'm not worried. And you're right, we should take this seriously, but honestly, the universe is working for me. It's friendly. It's there for us when we start listening to what she's telling you, you know, because that was the other thing. If we're noticing, it's like there's so many people out there that we don't know about. We're not going out of our circles. There's so many people that we don't know about. I'm telling you, there's so many people that is doing so much out there already. That's why I'm not worried about June, and I'm not worried about the year and a half, but everybody else should be worried because I see what they're doing. We're watching it all around us. You know, we're watching it all around us. So when I watched that documentary, Kiss the Ground, and Woody was sitting there going on about his daughter and the future, it's like, hey, Woody, I got 31 acres of land right here, an hour from where you are. You can bring your daughter over here to our land. Put your money where your mouth is. We got 31 acres. I played it for the 22 Women's Prayer. We have stood on that land when there was no water on the land, and on the land when there is water on the land. And I know what happens when you bring the vibes, water comes. And when you bring certain energies, the water comes. And when you bring the prayers, the water comes. And you bring the right people in prayer, the permaculturists, the agriculturists, and the people who sit there know how to protect water and who know how to do sustainability. All those things come. And all this is being given to us by the mother. The mother is the spirit of intuition. When she says, Sarah, she goes, go here, do this, do that, listen to this person, follow that person. That spirit of intuition is leading you to the right things to sit there and partner up with these people.
There you have it.
Partner up with her,
That's
partner
it.
with her, partner with him, because they know what's going on. And the more that we keep talking about it, so that little movie is just the beginning. We're going to keep making more. We're going to get out there on the land. We're going to chant, we're going to plant, and we're going to pray, and we're going to do music. Watch what we do in the year and a half while something else is going on. Watch what we have happening in a year and a half when we're all on that land celebrating
Thank you,
the life that
Antoinette.
we
Thank
brought.
you.
When we bring the water back and the life is being planted, because I seen it. I seen it in Maui. I seen the life coming back. I seen the life coming back everywhere. So all that there is so much hope when we start tuning in with each other and we start loving on each other and we're listening to the Mother Divine and we start partnering up. It's happening.
Thank you. Ooh, can you feel it rising? Can you feel her spirit moving? Can you feel her coming through these words? Are you present, ladies and gentlemen?
Rise of Divine Festival 2025. Rise of
So-
Divine Feminine. Who's there? Who's in it? Who's with me?
So, one of the things that I've heard so clearly from the mother in the form of the Black Madonna, she who was there before time, she who was there before religions, she who is in all the figurines they find from the Paleolithic and the Neolithic times, that mother is calling on us to return to source. Return to source. Return to source, because it is in our calling of her name and us saying, Mother. It is in us saying, Mother, come here, reveal yourself to me. Mother, come. All we need to do is invoke her through prayer, through chanting, through writing letters, through rituals. It is through rituals that we will awaken her presence in us and then be guided from the inside. What is our next right action to take? Because there are many things to speak out for. There are many causes. There are many things to join in with the elders. But we have to first cultivate that relationship with her inside and then say, guide my footsteps. May my mouth say your words. May I hear your guidance. May I be fed your food. May I feed others. May I touch you in the form of the people around me. Get in conscious awareness of where Mother is in the people around you. Listen to her coming through people and the wind and the sun and the fish. Listen to her, because the more we hear and actively seek to be in ritual with her, the more it'll be clear what is our action to take, what is for us to do, because she needs every one of us to not only talk to people in our circles who already get it. We don't have to preach to the choir. We need to go to the people who we don't know. We need to go to people we call the other. We need to go to the people who are our enemies. We need to go to people we would never talk to and be brave enough to say, hey, we may not see eye to eye on many things, but this is one earth and we got one air and we can lose it or not. We have to get in partnership here. So let's find a way where we are one. We have to be willing to be in uncomfortable conversations, be uncomfortable to do what is needed, because you know what? They are our family, even though they may not be acting like it, and we can't hold that against them. And they can't hold it against us. We have to find ways to be a bridge, and it is urgent. So thank you so much, and we are moving on.
Thank you, guys. Everybody was so phenomenal. I mean, your passion, you're right there at the point, and your voices need to be heard. So my action when I saw the Koji movie was to bring all you guys together to help me, to brainstorm with me, to offer your wisdom, offer your tools. And here you all are, and we're doing it. So now it's all on you, everyone here and that's on this call or watching the replay. And you will get a replay soon. So please send it out to your friends. Let people know the conversation. This is a rich, you said the word rich.
I did.
Yeah. And this is a rich and deep conversation of sovereign, powerful women who know who they are. And I want to introduce Donnie and Heather.
Yes,
Heather and
bring them
Donnie, I
on.
give you that order, because they are doing it. They are on the land. They have built the retreat center. They are gardening and farming and feeding people with rich, delicious, nurturing food, healing energies. So
Ashe,
and they are going to add a fabulous piece. But I want, while we still have the panel for a second, Heather and Donnie, I want you to just share a sentence or two about your vision in regards to the Koji film, and then we're going to go and watch your award-winning film after I formally introduce you. But I want you to put your 2 cents in here. Your 2 million cents.
I'm going to say, get more pennies than that now. Come on.
Yeah, I know. I just raised it to 1 million or 2. So.
Right. Well, we've been hearing this message, we're Pachamama Alliance people, and the Achwar tribe also had a big awakening and reached out and connected in partnership with the people of the modern world. And the prophecy of the eagle and the condor says that when the condor people, who are the people who are living still in balance and harmony with the earth, kind of get together with the eagle people, the people of the modern world, the people of technology. When we get together and fly in the same skies, the eagle and the condor, it will be the signal of the time of the great turning. So this message has been coming through and coming through and coming through. And yes, there are tens of thousands of organizations that are
working on a solution
in many different aspects, because we each have our part to do. And Donnie and I, our part to do is, yes, we live here in Maui. We have a Black Swan Temple and farm, and people come to visit us from all over the world on small group retreats. Antoinette's been here. We have a healing temple and spa and World Peace Pole and meditation pyramid. And we also take people to Egypt on pilgrimage. We're both, maybe Christy wants to introduce us now, but did you want to add anything right now?
You know, our temple is a place where people can come and heal and restore and regenerate and be inspired. And of course, like Antoinette, we're totally into the music and how the musical vibrations is part of the source of inspiration for humans to move out, get out of their own way. You know, this world is getting out of its own way, and I believe that it is heading towards the healing and heading towards the awakening. And it's such an honor for me to be in the presence of such divine priestesses, goddesses, and
this is a fabulous
warriors
group,
of
isn't
divine
it?
feminine. So
Yeah.
thank you so much.
So I think what we want to do, they have an award-winning film that to me mirrors and matches with the Koji film, alerts us to, and their film on the 42 ideals of Ma'at actually shows us how to embody the necessary principles, the necessary wisdom to be able to walk forth to create this change. So, and thank you everyone for doing all the beautiful work that you're doing, and we'll be in more conversation and continue on. Unless anyone has any last minute thoughts or comments they want to make before we go to the.
Oh, quickly. I thought I said Deborah Gusti here earlier, but those who are also going to the conscious life, that's where I had met the guy, Bob from Biotech. You know, this guy's really amazing because he's the one, this like earthquake proof, it's earthquake proof, fireproof, hurricane proof type of materials. So that's the kind of things that's like right here, and they're building a factory right here in Tijuana. So these things that it's like protecting you from 5G, you know, so like the inventors, the builders, all these people do exist, you know, and they're all coming together, and they're all within our own circles if we all start talking to one another.
Yeah.
That's-
And
thank
that is happening, and we're all, the energy of for doing it is really rising sharp and fast. So I'm so proud of everyone who's joined on for this call. So let's take it away to Heather and Donnie. You know, we may be the Western world doing the but you know, I'm sorry, I love being in my right brain, and I'm just like it's so it's
You
so
can do it, Christy. You can do it.
Anyway,
All right.
I love these two
Here
so
we go.
much, and they have contributed enormously to my life, and they will now contribute to yours. So I'm going to let you guys talk about the film, and
Thank
I
you,
will
Christy.
sign off. Thank you, dear.
Yeah, there's so much ancient wisdom that can support us now. Donnie and I are both ordained priests
Priest and priestess.
through the Temple of Isis, and also I'm an ordained Essene minister. And I'll just really quickly interject from the Essene tradition, we walk the sevenfold path of peace, and that's peace with the body, peace with the mind, peace with the earth, peace with your relations, peace with the cosmos, and peace with our service. So that's another way of framework of how we can walk in the world and kind of reflect back to us where we're at. Are we creating peace as we walk? And I love And I also love, being clergy of the Temple of Isis, I'm just going to share the path of Ma'at. And I told Christy I'll take you to our website because we can show you the ideals of Ma'at. So Ma'at is considered a netter, and from the Neteru in Egyptian pantheon. They're actually not goddesses. They're more than that. They're like divine principles, divine principles that hold our kind of universe together. So Ma'at holds the principles of truth, balance, order, harmony, morality, and justice. And in ancient Egypt, you were required to follow these laws of Ma'at. So the original laws of Ma'at came from the papyrus of Ani, and they were written in the negative form. So it'd be like, I have not committed sin. I have not committed robbery and violence. I have not stolen. And so when you come to the end of your life, you would go to the Hall of Truth. And in the Hall of Truth, your heart, you can see my sacred heart right here, would be weighed against ostrich feather, the feather of Ma'at. You can see she has her feather in her. So once your heart is weighed, your heart is light as a feather? That means, is it as pure as a feather? Have you lived righteously? Have you lived through these laws of Ma'at? If you have, then your heart is as light as a feather, and you move on to paradise. If not, I guess you need to come back again. We need to keep working on it. So in 1995, as I said, we are ordained clergy of the Temple of Isis. Reverend Lorian Vinay, who was the archpriestess of the Temple of Isis. The Temple of Isis actually started in Scotland, in Ireland, with Lady Olivia, and that's a whole other story. But this whole the legal entity of the Temple of Isis, which has over 40,000 members worldwide, and it has about 4,000 clergy, I would say, right now. So they formed the legal entity, made a church, a legal temple, so those who are ordained through the temple can receive your legal papers. So they took it unto themselves to go to Egypt, and they were there for about a month in 95. And here's the ladies right there, and they took on the project of kind of rewriting the laws into positive affirmations called and they called them ideals. So it's now, I honor virtue, I benefit with gratitude, I am peaceful, I respect the property of others. So 42 positive, affirmative ideals. Inspiring ideals for us to remember, like, if you really look at these things, I live in truth. I regard all altars with respect. I am sincere. I consume only my fair share. I have only good intentions. I relate in peace. I honor all creatures with reverence. I can be trusted. I care for the earth. I keep my own counsel. I speak positively of others. I am balanced in my emotions. I am honest in my relations. I inspire to higher consciousness. I spread joy. I'll just read these all quickly to you, and then we're going to show you the film, because Christy kind of said, oh, it all went by so fast. So well, it's a little more time to digest it, all these ideals. And I do the best I can. I communicate with compassion. I listen to opposing opinions. I create harmony. I invoke laughter. I am open to love in various forms. I am forgiving. I am kind. I am respectful of others. I release all judgment. I follow my inner guidance. I converse with awareness. I do good. I give blessings. I keep the waters pure. I am optimistic. I praise the gods and the goddess and the god. I am humble. I achieve with integrity. I advance through my own abilities, and I embrace the all. So if you go to Egypt, it really is a spiritual pilgrimage. Each temple has a certain initiation that one can go through to help align yourself with your
Divine self.
Your divine self and divine path, and these ideals. Teachings are so we take people on pilgrimage to Egypt, and we take you to a chapel where you'll see this all written on the walls. So I think that's that for that part. And now we're going to take you to the movie. All right, you guys ready? It's only 4 minutes.
4 minutes and 44 seconds.
44 seconds. We actually created this, I think, at the, it was 2/22/2022. It was when we first launched this, and we're so honored to share it with you. And I'll share a little bit more about how this was filmed and some of the magic around the filming of it after. Ma'at, O cosmic Neteru, who personifies the principles of truth, justice, balance, and harmony. We petition you to awaken your ideals within the hearts and minds of all mortals. May the path of honor, righteousness, and truth restore order from chaos and strife upon the earth. I honor virtue. I benefit with gratitude. I am peaceful. I respect the property of others. I affirm that all life is sacred. I give offerings. I live in truth. I regard all altars with respect. I am sincere. I consume only my fair share. I have only good intentions. I relate in peace. I honor all creatures with reverence. I can be trusted. I care for the earth. I keep my own counsel. I speak positively of others. I am balanced in my emotions. I am honest in my relations. I aspire to higher consciousness. I spread joy. I do the best I can. I communicate with compassion. I listen to opposing opinions. I create harmony. I invoke laughter. I am open to love in various forms. Forgiving. I am kind. I am respectful of others. I release all judgment. I follow my inner guidance. I converse with awareness. I do good. I give blessings. Keep the waters pure. I am optimistic. I praise the goddess and the god. I am humble. I achieve with integrity. I advance through my own abilities. I embrace the all. There you have it. 42 ideals of Ma'at, and so much magic happened while we were filming this. We got to shoot it a high top 10,000 feet up on Haleakala, and then we were in Mexico, and we were at Chichen Itza, and I got this thing. I was like, shh, and our guide, they let us film a little bit there, and then our guide said, do you know that you're just channeling the hieroglyph that's at the center of the pyramid, this pyramid of Chichen Itza? He says it's two snakes coming out of a lotus flower, and it goes 1, 2, 3, and up. And he's like, you just channeled that. Look, like, did you know that? I said, no, I didn't know that, but that's what I got to do. And he's like, okay, well, we'd like to take you to another temple complex, which only Mayan people can go to, and you are welcome to shoot whatever you would like there. So he took us to the Temple of the Guardians. And there's the mountain there is connected with Orion's belt, which is also where the pyramids are connected with Orion's belt. And that's so at that temple, the Temple of the Guardians, is where you'll see us up on the pyramid, and those other structures. So, and of course, all of the pyramids are connected all over the world. So that is super special.
Thank you so much. That was so beautiful.
Really, that was amazing.
I'm like, I have to.
Don't you just
go
love the way the
there.
Divine Feminine does things with her masculine support?
Well, you know, all children are hers. To her, they're all the same. I mean, men are no greater than frogs, and birds are no greater than women, and you know, trees are no greater than whales. So, you know, the ants are just as important. They're all equal in her eyes. That's the mother for you. So yeah, she'll use whatever is willing to serve and be her ambassadors. And we have a sacred couple here who are embodying this and inviting us to join. So thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so put all your links and everything in the chat for people. And
I think Donnie put okay, there it is, the blackswantemple.org, and then you'll find, if you just scroll down, you'll find he'll put it in, there you go. That'll take you directly to Ma'at.
Thank you so much. And I just really hope you're holding the door open for me, because I'm in.
All right.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
That would
Love
be
that.
awesome.
Yes.
And I
Yeah,
invited
we're going back to Egypt. We're going back to Egypt in the end of October, and we will be in the King's Chamber during the Samhain new moon, the lunar Samhain and Samhain proper. So it's the time when the veils are thinnest. This is when we travel through Egypt, and it's always very potent and powerful time, the connection. So
Yeah, I hear an invitation. Okay.
come on.
So I invited my dear priestess sister Galia Morrison to come, and Magdalena, actually, Galia Magdalena, to come and join us. She's got a lot of strong pagan roots, and when I saw the 42 ideals of Namat, we were all in the temple at Isis getting ordained all at the same time up, what is it, 2010? Or you, yeah, you guys were there for sure. And so I thought this is perfect because you just witnessed with her film that's won how many awards now?
I just that's
12, 10?
20 or something. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
A
you,
lot of
anyway, you
records.
won a lot of awards. And so, but what it brings forward is it brings forward the sovereign priestess and the mode of operation, the way she brings forth her expression in the world and whatnot. And then Galia, as a good, sweet pagan woman that she is, had the perfect chant. So Galia, do the little chant, and thank you guys so much for coming on with us, and we'll all reconvene shortly here. So thank you.
Yeah. Oh, that was a beautiful film, Heather and Johnny. Wow, really gorgeous. Yes, and I'm familiar with the 42 ideals of Ma'at from, my time at Isis Oasis, my times, I should say, which were frequent. Yes, so if our world is to survive, we need the ideals of Ma'at, truth, peace, justice, love, all of it. And why do we need the divine feminine? And when we change the world. She changes everything she touches. Won't you all please join me? It's a simple chant, very repetitive, over and over. She changes everything she touches. Everything she touches changes. She changes everything she touches. Everything she touches
Everything touches
changes. She is the
changes.
weaver, we are the web. She is the needle, we are the thread. She is the weaver, we are the web. She is the needle, we are the thread. She changes everything she touches. Everything she touches changes. She changes everything she touches. Everything she touches changes. She is the weaver, we are the web. She is the needle, we are the thread. She changes everything she touches. Everything she touches changes. She changes everything she touches. Everything she touches changes. Changes. Changes.
We just saw the ideals of Ma'at, and I love that chant because she changes everything she touches, and everything she touches changes. So we better get about our work of being in our sovereign divine self and bringing forth that change, because when we bring forth what is in us as the divine feminine, the heartfelt love and compassion and peace and joy, the nurturing, I mean, the list goes on, right? The integrity, the thriving community that follows us and surrounds us and that we culture. And I mean, I can go on and on. This is why it's so important for us to do this work. Thank you so much, Galia. We're gonna, and so I have asked my dearly beloved co-partner, producer of many of my events, including the Magdalene Moonrise service, to come on and join me because she has put together a really interesting organization. Have Santon share her wisdom, because she has set up what is called Global Evolution Initiative. And she is helping people to understand that we are becoming spiritual first responders. So the Koji movie showed us there's a fire happening. The house is burning down. So we always send out the first responders, right? Well, the spiritual first responders, because as so many of us are mystics and we've had so many fabulous mystical experiences where the guidance we get actually creates the change that we need to see in the world, we need to see in ourselves brings us forward in the peace and whatnot. So I wanted to have Santon Dela be the founder of the Global Evolution Initiative to help us to understand that this is a possibility that you might want to be. You might feel like everybody on this call, everybody watching the replay, that you are a spiritual first responder. Thank you.
Thank you, Christy. What a great introduction. Thank you so much. And thank you to everyone here. You guys are so awesome. And really what I'm hearing in everybody's presentation and the films, everything and everyone has really touched my heart, brought me to tears, really. I think you got the message that I got too. And some of us, I believe, were born here for this reason at this time. The time of the great shift, the time of the great turning, and that we all have very special and important gifts, and we've probably spent our whole lives, this lifetime, developing them, and who knows, maybe many lifetimes developing these gifts, and now the call has come to share them. I was meditating this morning and in contemplation about what to talk about today. All my work is in response to the call of the Divine Mother, and a response to the call from Spirit and from my own spirit at one with Spirit. And I see that oneness in everyone and everything. And I really believe that we all have these divine gifts inside of ourselves. The one thing that I've found, I'm an ordained minister through Terra Nova Seminary with my beloved teacher and the High Priestess Pamela Eakins. I don't know if you've heard of her. And I've just been doing this work in this field as a healer, a teacher, a guide for people, and a spiritual activist for over 30 years. So this has very deep and great meaning for me. And I just believe that with everyone I've worked with over all these years, what I notice is there's a yes, I get it. On some level, I get who I am. I'm speaking as all the people and the voices that I've heard. I'm here to spiritually awaken. I get I have gifts. And at the same time, what I've noticed in myself and in my clients is a little hesitation about putting it out there. And I want to just speak to the prophecy that now is the time to come together in groups, because the more that we can do it, the work in the unified field of love, in the unified field of oneness, in the unified field of truth and peace, and all those 42 ideals of Ma'at that you, Heather and Donnie, just spoke about, and Antoinette and everyone is, Anasuya, everyone's spoken so eloquently here. That's the truth. I get it. I am aligned with all of you and all of this. And now is our time. And what Karen said in terms of Karina, beloved Karina, what she said today in terms of the astrology, now is our time to really heal whatever needs to be healed for us to gather together and work together and make the difference for which we came, and be courageous. And so everybody's in some ways spoken little bits and pieces of what I wanted to talk about today. I think the first step is self-realization, to really work on your own self-care and your own self-awakening. And when you really get who you really are, and you connect with other people who are committed to that for themselves, and then you gather together in groups of like-minded people with a unified intention. I just want to bring attention to one of the things that I teach through the Global Evolution Initiative, and there's just a lot to it, is that to discover the power of our communal, to discover the power of our communal intention, and that when we come together with integrity, with love, in alignment and balanced, they're really, with the Divine Mother and the Divine Father within us, as us, there is really nothing that can't be done. And it's not us personally that's the doer. It really is the master healer of the divine and the universe, as the Divine Mother, as the Divine Father, as the divine all within us, working through us, that we can get the work done. That film about the message of the Kobe people and the prophecy was a real wake-up call to me. I'm like, wow, 2 years, okay, or a year and a half, or whatever it is. We have a lot of work to do. And the other insight that I had is that it is about the recognition and integration of the divine feminine within us. It also is the recognition of the divine marriage within us with the divine masculine, because from the all is the divine mother and the divine father, and out of that comes the divine marriage, and that wholeness allows the creation of whatever it is we're meant to bring forth to come forth. And now we have to have the courage to actually actualize that. So my work is about helping people do that, starting with themselves, their relationships, groups, and now the activism that we all need to step forward with ourselves and each other as spiritual first responders. And I teach people how to do that.
That is so wonderful. That is just the perfect message to follow right now, is that being first responders. I mean, what else could the daughters and sons of Mother be, who are hearers, who are the elders, who are willing to be on the front line to blaze new paths, or blaze paths that haven't been tread in a while? Like, be the first responder. We are here today being invited to respond now. Be the first response is, yes, Mother. Yes, show me the way. Show me what is my task to do.
Right.
You know, so thank you so much for that. That's such an empowering context. It's like, be the first responder. Earth is on fire.
Right.
Are you bringing water? Are you bringing sand? Are you bringing, what are you bringing to put it out?
Right. And the Divine Mother and the Divine Father, the divine itself is giving us plenty of knowledge, plenty of skills, plenty of tools. We're all very rich with wisdom. And now it's time to collaborate and make it happen. So thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. As we transition over to an expansive state of oneness that is Ubuntu, that's captured in the word, the South African, actually specifically the Zulu word Ubuntu, which is an acknowledgement that I am because you are, and you are because I am, and I am because we are, and we are because I am. And one of the ways that I have learned Ubuntu down in my core, as opposed to just an idea, is an experience I had where I saw in the moment a lived experience of, the person in front of me that I was sitting knee to knee with, to have this experience. I heard, you are me, cleverly disguised as you. Mm. And when we have that understanding, then that is Ubuntu. There is no other, which is why part of the message that Mother gave me to share is go and talk to whoever you're calling the other, because it's really you. You know, be willing to be in that uncomfortable conversation. Be willing to look them in the eye, no matter what hat they're wearing. Be willing to talk to them, even though they scare you, because we have to reestablish that truth of oneness that they've forgotten and we've forgotten. So thank you, Antoinette, for coming right now with your commitment to Ubuntu. That is a film, that is a movement, and for sharing it at this auspicious moment with everyone with your golden invitation. So thank you, and take it away.
Thank you so much. Anasuya.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah, Anasuya. You know something, but before I go into that, while you were just speaking about this Ubuntu and I am because we are, last time, because the first time I had met you, I knew a little bit about your story, but you didn't speak about it this time. And there's a lot of new people who's probably tuning in right now that never even heard this part about you either. You know, and the things that I think is what's prevalent about what I'm going into are about these extraordinary women who've come from extraordinary circumstances to be able to do extraordinary things. That really exhibits Ubuntu. So if you don't mind, just for the people who haven't heard this before, you know, before I go into this, because that really does exhibit it.
Which part do you want me to share?
Your story, a little bit of your story and how you became an ambassador.
Okay, so thank you, so sweet. Okay, I'll be super brief because we definitely want to get to your film. But for me, how one of the ways that experience Ubuntu. Okay, so one of the ways that I experienced Ubuntu was actually going. I've been to 28 countries and I've lived in 6 different ones. And each time I had to either let go, I hold on to my Americanness and my and even particularly my Black Americanness, which is a very specific intersection of Black woman and American. That intersection is quite interesting. And I could either take that and be ensconced in it, or I could be permeable and allow other cultures, other language, other spiritual practices, other religions weave with me, teach me, guide me, go with humility or go with arrogance. And so many people on my travels I saw who are American culture went with arrogance, went with my way is the right way, our way is better, we know more than you do. And I saw where little cracks became oceans and chasms, and the distance was spread through. And, you know, for me, seeing how people perceive me as better than because of the status that people attribute to that which is American, especially when I'm in places like on the continent of Africa, I had to share with people that which is the most humane about me, which is my different traumas, different abuses that I've overcome, so that they can see that whatever privilege that comes with being an American, and there are many, that still does not protect me from violence. It doesn't protect me from any of the isms. It doesn't protect me from abuse. It just maybe allows me better tools to work with them. And so when my sisters and brothers in other countries are able to see my full humanity, then they're able to experience my oneness as opposed to some form of hierarchy. And that's really important when we are going to whatever we call the other, is to go with our full humanity and share that, not hide it, not think we have to, there's shame around it. We have to share openly who we are, what we've done, what we haven't done, what we've learned, where we've fallen, where we may have failed, because that is where people can feel safe with us. And to bring Mother Spirit through, we have to create that sense of safety so that all of their humanity we can make space for that as well, especially the parts we don't like about them or their culture. Welcome that. Be committed to loving that. Be committed to honoring that, because that allows them to choose again. Well, maybe I don't want to hold on to that. Maybe I don't want to think like this anymore. Maybe that wasn't right, what I was taught. But if we resist it in any way, they won't even consider the possibility that maybe there's another way. So that's just a drop.
Mm-hmm. Drop in the ocean. We need to hear for more Black women. There's so much wisdom out there. You just allow us to talk. But we're going to take that time. We're reclaiming time anyway. So let me get to this clip so that way you guys can hear these women talk. All right. Go. This is awesome.
To me, Ubuntu is our own ethos. Okay, if I were to tell the world about Ubuntu, I would say we rise by lifting others.
With Ubuntu, you reach out to those that have lost hope, but through Ubuntu, they are able to move on. They are encouraged. They are told there is much that we can achieve when we are there for each other.
Ubuntu in my community means humanity, where we share whatever we have, whether little or much. We are all connected by that spirit, that whatever I have, it is mine, yes, but I'm kind of propelled to help the other people to raise up to where I am.
Ubumuntu is about love. It's about loving your neighbor, not in a fluffy way, but in a sense that what you feel, they feel. And that everybody has a story that matters. And that together, we can bring healing to each other.
let the hungry be fed, the naked clothed, the sick be nourished, the elders protected, and the infants cared for. So this is all a basic need of any community, and Ubuntu matches that immediately. If we can help each other achieve these things.
Everything we do for others. The way we are endowed, our gifts, our skills, they are for others. There's an African proverb that says, a tree does not give shade to itself. It gives shade to others.
I believe that I do exist because of other people. There's nothing that I wouldn't be here or be able to travel or be able to continue my music or anything else if it hadn't been for other people. And then now that I see how this philosophy actually works in all these organizations, I'm ready to take it back home and starting it in my own community, you know, with our own projects. Wake up. You're gonna sit there and see Africa is on the rise and is awakening. So we just released the film January 1st on my birthday. We've won 8 awards so far. We did a private screening in Los Angeles and film selection in Arizona on the same night. We did a private screening on the Big Island and on Kauai to also get some feedback, you know, from the audience as well too. And we're doing a private screening in Las Vegas on the 4th. So if anybody's out there in Vegas on September 4th, come out and check it out. Come out, and other than that, you're gonna have to wait until we do the entire film screening run for the entire year. And then we're also going back to Africa. There's gonna be a Ubuntu festival for 4 days, and then we're showing the film back in the 10 other countries that we actually shot it in. But one of the things that I really want to talk about is like these women. These women are so fantastic. It's like when you hear their stories of what little they've had or nothing, or the backgrounds that they're coming from, you know, especially if you're coming from a refugee background, if you're coming from a place of no home or anything else. That's what I'm sitting there saying. It's like, I know what peace looks like. Everything else that's been happening in the world, we've seen it already. I've seen the death, the destruction, the madness, the craziness. I've seen it all. But I've also seen what hope looks like. And I've seen what love looks like. And I've seen what rebuilding looks like. And I've seen what happens when people come together. And I'm telling you, what you see, what these women are going through, you don't recognize what they've had to go through because that how resilient they are, you know, and they could teach us so much because it's like they don't give up. You know, if something happens here in America, it's like, oh my God, you know, kind of, it's like the whole world ends and the anxiety and the stress. And because we adopted that culture, it's like everything else falls apart. Why is everything else falling apart when it's so little and so minuscule, when it doesn't have to fall apart, when actuality, it's just how we're looking at things, how we're perceiving things, how we're interacting with each other, and how we understand like the cooperation, the spirit of Ubuntu, when we actually all come together, that we can achieve and accomplish anything, and we're stronger together. You know, so that was one of the reasons why I when I brought in grandmother Elisi and Passion Pookie, and I wanted you as well, Anasuya, because it's like the Black women, this is where we're coming in now with the rest of the women all over. Because like we said, if you're not hearing from other women, you're missing that other part of the story. You're missing that other part of us, of who we are as the human family, as who we are as like a collective altogether. So yeah, I'll go
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing this invitation for all voices to be heard, for all stories to be heard, for all paths to be heard, including those women who have been the most marginalized, which are African women and Indigenous women. So thank you so much for bringing our sisters together in this program and for making this film and this journey that continues. Thank you so much.
I hope everybody recognizes the value that has been brought forward in this conversation, and to have the opportunity to have Elisi and Pookie here with us. I want them to bring their voice to it. I want them to share what is in their hearts to share. So please take a few minutes and have you guys contribute to this conversation. Antoinette's movie is bringing forth a principle. It's like another principle, like the 42 ideals of the Ma'at and all the other principles that have to be woven and make the new fabric of the new earth. So your voices are critical to me. So please speak, please share.
All right. So which of you two sisters, Elisi or Pookie? You saying Pookie? Okay. Pookie, you have been pointed to.
Oh, I have been identified. Indeed. You know, it's a really powerful time. And I'm going to just share my heart. I'm going to share my feelings. So everything that I'm sharing with you, if it doesn't resonate with you, I understand completely. And these are just the things that I've come to know for myself. And so I'm speaking from that place. You know, and as I'm looking around and as I'm fully engaged in this experience of the divine feminine, fully emerging in all of her beauty and glory and magnificence, and just the sheer power in which she holds her heart, because her heart is that, it is that which she is wielding. It's her tool in bringing forth all that she desires. And so right now, as it's all happening, you know, I hear what I'm really feeling into more than anything. I hear the conversation about the divine feminine and the support of the divine masculine, and I get it. And I would like to say this. I think that right now, for women, it is time for the divine feminine to learn how to be in community with the divine feminine. I think that the focus, the relationship that we have to focus on right now is our relationship with each other. I think that until that is firm and strong, until we have healed all of these toxic feminine things that women have been programmed, we've been programmed with this. And we have not, you know, and no one has escaped it as much as we've brought much healing to it. Still, we women cannot rise unless we rise together. And we must bring that sacred bond. That sacred bond is first and foremost. The men will wait. The men have been here long enough. They have been in control long enough. They have kept us quiet long enough. It is time now for women to stand together with women, and women more than anything right now, we need to heal our relationships with each other. More than anything, the divine feminine cannot rise if we are having feelings, if we're having impure thoughts about our sisters. None of that all has to stop. It has to stop. It has to stop. We have to come into sacred union like a wedding, like the wedding of the most divine. This is the love story of all time right now. And we, as women, we have to come together. We have to cast aside these male tendencies that we've had. We have to cast them aside, and we have to stand in our divine feminine. We have to stand in our beauty and our power and joining together.
Have no fear, masculine. Have no fear, because when the women gather and we get strong, we love you and we include
I'm feeling very insecure right now.
The men have nothing to worry about. Because the women
hang in there, Pato. Hang in.
I've never heard Pookie speak so ferociously and passionately before.
Ele has spoken.
Spot on? Wasn't I spot on?
I feel like I'm in the doghouse.
No.
No, Pato, you have nothing to worry about, because
all right.
The good that's in the woman's heart. And when we stop being competitive with each other,
absolutely,
picky and
yes,
you're not doing this and all that bullshit, which has been perpetrated to us by the patriarchy to get us to divide, to not unify.
Yes. I agree.
Yes.
I agree.
Don't kick her out. Get back on. You guys put your heads together like two little love bugs that you are.
Very, very good. I agree. I support you 100%.
Oh, we love
Absolutely.
you.
And I
Thank
just
you.
got married in April, so I have a divine masculine. And I'm in a relationship with divine masculine. And yes, of course, that time will come for that relationship to be nurtured and to be, but for me, and like I said, I'm only speaking my own words. I'm only speaking my own heart. I'm not saying that this is the opinion of anybody else. I'm speaking my own truth. But for me, it's that I feel like we as women, we really need to, if we're going to do this thing, girls, if we're really going to do this thing, we got to really kind of clean up that stuff. If there's anything in there, we got to clean that stuff up. It's just we're not able to move forward if we're carrying these things. So it's so beautiful and important. And that's why I love these communities here where we get to open up our hearts and speak about these things, the things that are so important, especially right now as the feminine is rising, and we all know it, we all feel it, we all are a part of it, a magnificent part of it. And so it's beautiful. And yes, I'm not talking, I love men. And I just want to say, just in case, because I do know we got a couple of men here, I'm just saying that I really feel like women, we need to really come together. I think that we really
now there it is. Now come on now, Elisi.
Yeah.
Because Pookie said it. She just truth bombed. All right. So come on, Elisi.
Mic drop. Mic drop. The mic, yeah. The mic drop is, there we are, going right around to what we said at the beginning, which was do your own work.
Yes.
If it doesn't start here, there's no place for it to go. It means doing your own work. And that means a willingness to let go of, so much. What did you say, baby, before? She said something about having to leave. She had to let go of a lot of things in order to be able to receive.
To be permeable, to be able to experience that oneness.
Yeah, that's true all the time and if you think about it, it's kind of silly because our cells teach us to be permeable. That's how they exist. So that says right away when you're not doing that you're not in sync with your own body.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not in sync with your own body, then the first thing you're going to do is bump up against something that's not your own body. And so we are really talking about, again, returning to the reality of women having it together because we individually have it together. And together is not a static thing. That's so important that you know that. You're continuously polishing, shining up that beautiful light. So it glows more brightly, glows more widely, reaches out and connects and integrates and contacts all of those things all of the light that exists together. Because there's I think it's my chemistry brain comes in for a second, and which is a strange thing for a musician. But there's two theories about light. There's the wave. De Broglie theory, there's wave light and particle light, and the truth is both exist all the time. That's like, the parallels are endless there. That's like men and women. There is as much masculine in each of us as feminine, and we have to be good with that. You can't be bad about that, because then you're fighting yourself. And that's however that expresses itself. The balance comes from us coming together as a whole, and these are foundational things in our indigenous teachings. They're foundational, that each one, it starts with each child being honored for whatever their gifts happen to be. There's no imposition of something that you want the child to be, because that may or may not be their gift. And sometimes, and if you're around a lot of places where that's not the case, you may find yourself doing that to yourself, eh? You want to be this or that, as opposed to, well, what am I, what's my silver? Where are my, what's my gold? What are my jewels? Where are my actual gifts? And I think that takes enormous courage, because you know what? We all know that with gifts come responsibility. Those things are perfectly aligned. And so coming together in that way, that's the power. The Ubuntu tradition, the principles of Ma'at, The principles of Brigid, those 7 principles sound almost exactly like these principles on my wrist, which are the 7 Lakota virtues, which are the same as the Anishinaabe principles of the grandfathers. There's no accident that everybody who's connected to the earth also knows what you have to do to remain connected to yourself. Because we are not apart from her. We are a part which, if we keep separating ourselves, she'll just dust us off and go on. Won't be the first time, won't be the second time, it won't even be the third time. But we have an opportunity, and we have an opportunity. I figure, other than the butt I'm sitting on, I'm not going to use that word anymore. So we have this opportunity this time around to really, because we're so close and so many people have incarnated who have jumped in willing to play. And I'm saying play rather than work, because that's how we translate in Chalagi. They ask us what we do and they say we jump down to play and learn. And please notice which word is first. That is critical edge. How do children learn? Play. And that's the thing. In our divine humanity, our billion-year-old rocks on Mother Earth aren't even the oldest that there are. Our billion-year-old stars in the sky, and the one that we circle isn't even an ancient star. She's in no danger of going out anytime soon. We're always learning and we're always expanding. And that's the grace we have to give each other every single day.
Thank you so much. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have heard from our Indigenous sisters. The gauntlet has been thrown down, first by Mother and all those who are willing to hear Mother's message. Thank you so much. And I do think it is a good time to switch on over to the movement of dance that Ilona brings, because that is one of the ways that Mother speaks to us too, through divine energy flowing through us that looks like dance, but is really praise and worship.
I have asked my dear friend Ilona, because she is the director and the founder of the Illumina Dancers and has danced at so many of our events. And
first of all, I want to greet you with a Mayan greeting, which is in Lakesh, I am another you, rounding up everything that we've been talking about.
Yes, thank you.
I am too a priestess. I was ordained before I even went to Isis Oasis. Arissa Victor, a high priestess of Isis, ordained me back in 95. I chose this dance because, one, I knew it. I knew this folk dance. And
what is a divine feminine event without a dance? I mean, that's what the divine feminine does. It's one of her glorious expressions. But this dance came out of a mystical experience that Ilona and I had. And that's why I wanted to show you, because it represents how the divine feminine and her intuition can heal and create healing. So I was listening to Kayleen Osbo, who is a fabulous scholar of the Magdalene, talk about that on Easter, the pilgrims would go into Chartres Cathedral, the big cathedral in France, devoted to the divine feminine. They would go down into the crypt where the Black Madonna was on Saturday night, and they would spend all night there with the Black Madonna. And then on Easter morning, they would come up. And as they came up to the into the cathedral part of the sanctuary, there's a labyrinth there. Now the labyrinth is the representation of the pathway where you can never get lost. There's no wrong turn, but you're on the way to the center. And when you get into the center, you can know that you are God, that you are the divine, that you are love. And then you find your way out. It's the same thing. There's no wrong way. There's no wrong turn that you can possibly make. So it's a very profound metaphor. So one of my passions has been the fact that when the crucifixion happened, suddenly there was this chasm and split, and the Jewish people were being demonized. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing, because I'm bringing those two groups together. There needs to be a healing on this. And this dance was the expression. So I called Alona up and I told her about this. I said, we want a circle dance because that's what they do. They do a circle dance. And then, Alona, you want to take it away? She had also gotten the vision of a circle dance in Hebrew. So
dance has been my means of being a priestess, but also my oath when I became a priestess was to nurture the earth. And I am very, very connected to the earth. These movies today have moved me so deeply, very, very deeply. And I'm going to share this experience with everybody that I know. The beautiful films that have been shown today that are just absolutely astounding. And the mott, the way you brought that to life, oh my God, it's just beautiful. Anyway, dance has always been a part of celebrating spirit and earth. And so it's also always been a part of my life. So I chose this dance, first of all, because I knew it. And I wanted to do a folk dance, a circle dance, because the circle represents oneness. It represents moving in harmony, moving as one. And then I added to the dance and everyone did their own self-expression. So the metaphor would be is let's take that oneness from our spirit and from our being and then carry it out into the world, into these very many diverse expressions as you have demonstrated today in such beautiful ways. And the Israeli dance, it happens to be an Israeli dance, and it is very poignant right now because I want to offer this dance as a peace dance because there needs to be healing between Palestinians and Israelis and many people of the world, but that's very prominent right now. And so I offer this prayer that may grace open the hearts and minds of all living beings. Open our hearts and minds to self-awareness and the awareness of the needs of others. Open our hearts to forgiveness and to kindness and to compassion and to harmonious equanimity among all people, that all peoples may be sovereign and not occupied. They may be their sovereign beings in their sovereign lands. So I offer this dance as a peace dance. And we called it the celebration of life, even though the real name of this dance is Erev Ba, and Israeli, that means the eve of. So let's say this is the eve of not destruction, but the eve of oneness on this planet and harmony. Thank you.
I just wanted to say that, you know, I keep visioning that if the Russians were dancing in the street and the Jewish people were dancing in the street, we would have such a different time. So everybody needs to be dancing in the street. Okay, take it away. Thank you so much, Ilona.
Well, I just wanted to say about a folk dance is a folk dance. When I spent a month in school in University of Madrid, this amazing music class talked about it talked about how each region in Spain, with its own topography and climate, gave rise to the kind of folk dance that was not original to each of the different provinces. And so too with all the folk dances around the world, they come out of the climate, the topography of each location. So we have such a variety, like birds of a feather, we have such a variety of expressions of music and dance around the world, which is really a beautiful thing. So that folk dance, again, is a connection to earth. Yes.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. So let's bring everybody back up, and I want to thank my wonderful partnership that I had with all of you, these fabulous women who've been helping Anasuya, who helped me with partnership, and Santon de la Vie, who's been my rock, supporting me in the background, and everybody that helped with the tech and the presentations. You've all been wonderful. And all of a sudden, Mayor's Mayor, and she's got the 1,000 Goddess coming up. And so, this is something, there's a few things that I do every year, and this is one of them. Yeah, let's see, we got to bring Elisi. Lisa. Okay, we got her. Great. Karen LaPuma and Galia. So, Anasuya, you want to say anything in closing?
So thank you, everyone, for especially those who chose to stay longer. We have gone quite a bit over time, so thank you, those of you who've chosen to be with us, for hanging in there and feeding yourselves with this message and feeding us with your message, because this is an exchange. We are permeable. We are allowing each other to touch one another and move one another and contribute to each other. And I thank you for your yes. I thank you for your yes. I trust you completely to that which has been awakened in you or expanded in you or increased in you, that you will continue to nurture it and cultivate it such that it grows and expands more and you touch more people. You reach more people. You reach out across the chasms and you bring peace in yourself and therefore peace all around you. Thank you for your yes, and thank you for being here. You have blessed us all with your presence. Each person on the panel, each person sharing, and each person receiving in that sacred exchange. Thank you. Thank you so much.
My beloved, I so appreciate you and your fortitude and your resilience. Is so true what was said today about the African American woman is resilient, and I need to learn that, because I was like, I gotta keep resilient, right? But I tell you, one war, the Ukraine war, that was enough. And then when we went into the whole Gaza thing, oh my God, my heart, I can't take it. I'm just like, the goddess wants to recognize you, Galia.
Well, yeah, I guess so. Christy, when you said that everyone should be dancing in the streets, and the Russians and the Israelis and everybody, I kept having this vision while the folk dance was happening of Putin and Netanyahu dancing with them. That's what we need to change things. They should be dancing, not fighting.
Indeed.
Yeah,
Indeed.
yeah.
And of course, unfortunately, my belief is that it really is going to take the divine feminine mothers, to raise the children who have that. But first, we have to become our sovereign selves. And Santon did a prayer in a clearing before, because the storm was supposed to slam the Northern California area with more rain in the first hour than has happened all year.
Cancel.
I know, that's what she did. She did the clearing, and and got, so it's been light rain.
So thank you.
We're gonna play I Am Woman. So
I Am
yes,
Oh,
but
yes.
let's
Ooh.
let's get the proper introduction for it. Thank you, honey. I certainly had fun. So please introduce your closing video and then we'll.
It's a wonderful song. It will bless your socks off, open your heart wider. But if you gotta leave, we understand.
So this is I Am Mother Spirit, based off of the Urantia book teachings about the Divine Mother Spirit and all her aspects from the cosmos all the way down to the planet and everything all far in between. So I hope you guys enjoy it.
I am your local universe mother spirit. I am the feminine divine, the universe spirit, Shekinah, Shakti, the creative mother spirit, the divine minister, and the Holy Spirit. I am the giver of the breath of life. I am omnipresent in this universe, and you actually live in me. I am a creative daughter of the infinite Mother Spirit. I am equal co-creator with your local universe creator Son, and we have created you in our image. I am the spirit of Mother Earth and Mother Nature. I am the mystery of life, the vital energy spark, the essential factor of life plasm, to the required revolutions of matter in accordance with the physical, chemical, and electrical specifications of your world. I am the cause of purposeful organic evolution and reproduction. I am the source of all life on your planet, vegetable, animal, and human. I am the inherent endowment of mammalian mother love, maternal instincts, and the bestower of mind, animal and human. I am personally maternal to all my children. I love you individually. I know you personally, and I understand you completely. I am the provider of the spirit of intuition, the spirit of understanding, the spirit of courage, the spirit of knowledge, the spirit of counsel, the spirit of worship, and the spirit of wisdom. I am the Holy Spirit, and I extend to you my fostering care and spiritual ministry as I work in harmony with the Spirit of truth and your indwelling spirit, to lead you ultimately to the loving embrace of our Heavenly Father.
Right.
Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Thank you, thank you. I loved it.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. I'm so grateful for this. It really, as you see, we have work to do. And so stay tuned. Go to my website, sign up on the newsletter. We'll be sharing with you what's next coming up. We have to keep going on this. And I know we can do it because we have the mother behind us. She is fusing us. And thank you, Anasuya, and all my beloved friends.
Thank you.
We can go to gallery view and just everybody say goodbye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, thank you,
So
thank you.
wonderful. So wonderful. Thank you so much.
Messages. Yay, Pookie.
Thank you, everyone. Many blessings and gratitude. You're awesome.
Aloha, everybody.
Aloha.
Aloha.
Mama